It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared. Politics have no relation to morals. One who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver. Men should be either treated generously or destroyed, because they take revenge for slight injuries, for heavy ones, they cannot. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. There is no avoiding war, it can only be postponed to the advantage of others. I'm not interested in preserving the status quo, I want to overthrow it. The more sand has escaped from the hourglass of our life, the clearer we should see through it. The promise given was a necessity of the past, the word broken is a necessity of the present. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success, than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Before all else, be armed. Never was anything great achieved without danger. Hatred is gained as much by good works as by evil. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. There is no surer sign of decay in a country than to see the rights of religion held in contempt. No enterprise is more likely to succeed than one concealed from the enemy until it is ripe for execution. Men are so simple, and so much inclined to obey immediate needs, that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. Men rise from one ambition to another. First, they seek to secure themselves against attack, and then they attack others. A son can bear with equanimity the loss of his father, but the loss of his inheritance may drive him to despair. Of mankind, we may say in general they are fickle, hypocritical, and greedy of gain. It is much more secure to be feared than to be loved. War is just when it is necessary. Arms are permissible when there is no hope except in arms. Tardiness often robs us opportunity and the dispatch of our forces. A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promise. God is not willing to do everything, and thus take away our free will, and that share of glory which belongs to us. One change always leaves the way open for the establishment of others. Men shrink less from offending one who inspires love than one who inspires fear. A wise ruler ought never to keep faith, when by doing so it would be against his interests. We cannot attribute to fortune, or virtue, that which is achieved without either. To understand the nature of the people, one must be a prince, and to understand the nature of the prince, one must be of the people. Princes and governments are far more dangerous than other elements within society. Hence it comes about that all armed prophets have been victorious, and all unarmed prophets have been destroyed. Nature that framed us of four elements, warring within our breasts for regiment, doth teach us all to have aspiring minds. Benefits should be conferred gradually, and in that way they will taste better. Whoever conquers a free town, and does not demolish it, commits a great error, and may expect to be ruined himself. The new ruler must determine all the injuries that he will need to inflict. He must inflict them once and for all. Since it is difficult to join them together, it is safer to be feared than to be loved, when one of the two must be lacking. The distinction between children and adults, while probably useful for some purposes, is at bottom a specious one, I feel. There are only individual egos, crazy for love.